Listening to Day and Night still a little bit makes me feel like I'm at a high school dance. Hey, it's Rebecca. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be redesigning Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon album covers, which makes me nervous to think about. The albums are just so beloved by so many people, and a lot of people, including myself, grew up on his music, so I hope I do them justice. I thought it'd be cool to redesign them in 2020, given how much more meaning has been layered onto them in the years since I first started listening to them. I want to be clear, I love the album covers. Don't come for me saying I ruined them. I would never change them. It's just more like a reinterpretation. I'm just talking in circles because I'm procrastinating getting started because I'm scared. This is gonna be fun, hopefully. So since his first album is so dreamy and surreal, I wanted to create a illustration or a collage that gives off that feeling. So I started out with some really low quality thumbnail sketches, and these were just to get my ideas down on a piece of paper. And then I picked a couple that I liked enough to start working on in the computer. So the first one was this image of a little boy sitting in front of a retro TV at a window that overlooked this space scene. And I wanted to do something with space just because there's so many references to space on this album, including the title, Man on the Moon. I explored this one a little bit and then decided to toss it out. My next idea was having a car driving on a road that stretched back into space with like stars and planets and stuff like that. So I gave that one a try. And I started out by finding images of what I would be using, and I tried to find ones that had lighting that matched each other. Lighting is something that you'll never be able to fix in Photoshop, literally ever. I've tried many times, but it will never work if the original photo doesn't have the right lighting. So I masked out all my images and warped the road to make it longer than it was before, and then I just kind of pasted everything together just to get a sense for the composition. And then to make the planets, I found these abstract photos of like swirling liquid that looked kind of like the surface of a planet. I wanted to replace the logo on the car with the name of the album, so I pulled it out and then I just added in the name and I put it in a kind of old looking font, and then you just warp it, add a texture, and there you go. It's a new brand of the car. I played with color grading a lot, and I don't have like a one trick answer for how to do it. You just have to play with hue saturation layers and gradient maps and different blend modes until you find something that looks good. It's really just a guessing game. And then you can do what I did, which is go into the filter gallery and slap a watercolor filter on it so that it looks like you painted this, when in reality you just collaged it together. Here's the final product in a vinyl mock-up. Cudi said that Man on the Moon 2 is dark by nature, and instead of bringing you into my dreams, I'm bringing you into my reality, good and bad. With that in mind, I was inspired by this one artist named Mishko who does these really awesome typography pieces with dripping letters. A lot of the album revolves around his drug use and the highs and lows of addiction, so I wanted to do something kind of trippy and hazy to capture that. I'm showing one of my early tries here, but I did several attempts at this before I figured out how to get something that I like. I did this all with the Liquify tool in Photoshop. It's super awesome once you get a sense for how to use it, but you just have to keep experimenting with it basically and get to know it. I watched several different tutorials, so I will link those down in the description if anyone is curious. I was generally going for this swirl shape to come out of the words Mr. Rager. I experimented a lot with different ways to color the image. It's gonna look really bad for most of this, but just bear with me. So same as last time, I just played with different blend modes and gradient maps and hue saturation layers. And then I used this brush called the Wet Mixer brush tool that is meant for digital painting, but it also creates these really interesting kind of like fringe edge effects on something like this. So I went back in and I cleaned up my liquify a little bit. And then I went in with the Wet Mixer brush again and just tried to do it a little bit more subtly than what I had before. It made the letters look like they were under a pool of water, so I actually really liked it. And then I added a flare and some textures, and that was it. I put it in a grungy CD mockup since that just felt right for this design. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you ended up liking the final product. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. That's all I've got for you today, so bye!